Thank you, Prajwal, for that wonderful uh, introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Namaste, assalamu alaikum. First of all, thank you, Code for Change team, for inviting me for this session. So I'll just be trying to explain, or I'll just be sharing my experiences throughout AMRO tech journey, and then what kind of impact that we've created in the COVID-19 situation. Right? So bear with me, might get boring, but it is just something that I'd love to share and hopefully inspire our youngsters who are with us today. So basically, I'm Mohammed Naved. I work for Jeeve Health Private Limited, Hamro, your homegrown company, based in Kathmandu. The product was, so briefly, before we actually go on to the entrepreneurship part, and before we move on to all the details, I'd like to introduce Jeeve Health. So Jeeve Health was an initiative that was started to not on a monetary front, but to revolutionize the traditional way of how healthcare is taken in Nepal, right? So Nepal, as far as we've seen, it's been a tough journey, especially in the healthcare space, where we see a lot of problems day in and day out, right? So first of all, Jeeve Health ko start ma, we identified one small problem, that was appointments. So appointment लिनको लागि हाम्रो कतिजना मान्छेहरूले जो पनि पेशेन्ट्सहरू हुनुहुन्छ उहाँहरूले चाहिँ एकदम लामो क्युमा बस्नुपर्ने, टाइममा नगयो भने अपोइन्टमेन्ट्स नपाउने, अनि every time they see the doctor is delayed, हैन, अब वहाँ गएर चाहिँ उहाँहरूले कुर्नुपर्ने त्यस्तो इश्युजहरू चाहिँ आइडेन्टिफाई गरेर, that's how the concept of GV came into play. And हामीले चाहिँ when we started out, we wanted to solve this particular problem. So while starting, हाम्रो चाहिँ there was only a small concept कि okay, clinicsहरू or hospitals-हरूले चाहिँ online appointments लिनु पाउँछ, and then they can go meet the respective doctors भनेर. But then again, when we actually sat down and talked about it, the larger scope came into play, where there were a lot of things that were identified as an issue, from health records to tobacco medicine availability to tobacco appointments भयो, online consultations भयो. यी कुराहरु चाहिँ एकदमै impact गरेर त्यो सोसाइटीमा. So we thought that we'll keep on solving every issue one step at a time, and that's how the whole concept of GB started. And luckily we have done really well in a short span of time, and we are trying to redefine healthcare industry in Nepal. So okay, that was a short introduction about what we actually do and what we are actually trying to solve. So let's move on to the entrepreneurship part, and then we'll try to connect the dots, right? So I didn't get in presentations. I'm very bad at following the lines, so I'll just be talking. So please bear with me. Right? So entrepreneurship, basically, just by definition, it is the ability to readily develop or organize and run a business or enterprise for with any uncertainties to actually generate some kind of income, right? So this is where the entrepreneurship title, or this is how the entrepreneurship title is actually explained all over the world, and that's how it is taken. I think what we did was quite opposite of that. We first thought we should solve a problem and then think about generating income or generating any kind of revenue. So that was one of the major ideas that we had as a startup. So when we started last year, so we just started development of our idea last year. That was in June 2019. When we started, we were, as I mentioned, we were just trying to solve. We were trying to solve the problems that we had identified in the society or that were going on in Nepal, per se. So we had a lot of options there to outsource the project, and since these kind of applications are already available, we could have gone the route and bought some service and just monetize it. But we said no. We want to do a few things. We want to revolutionize each and every aspect of it. So first of all, we wanted to change how we think about the homegrown talent. That's why you don't see one foreign involvement in our team. That is हाम्रो चाहिँ overall team जति पनि छौं हामी from business team to marketing team to the tech team. I mean, it's all homegrown. It's all homegrown talent. And so the first thing was we generated jobs, and then the second thing was we went after identifying each and every issue. We talked to the doctors, we talked to the medical professionals, and then we actually conceptualized and delivered Jeeve. So we went live on November of last year, that is November 2019, and we got a very good response, initial response from the market, and the acceptance as हाम्रो speaker, the अगाडिको स्पिकरले भन्नुभएको थियो कि टेक्नोलोजिकल त्यो एक्सेप्टेन्स त्यति लेभलमा छैन हामी कहाँ. So the initial acceptance for the youngsters was really fine. Initial acceptance by all the youngsters in the circle were really good, but the most challenging part came into play when we actually went to the doctors at the clinics and tried to explain our concept of how in a larger picture we can actually solve these issues. So that was a fun journey, and finally when we actually showed them the impact this could create in the market, or impact that it could create in the way we do things, I think that was the most successful point for us, where we started to explore the acceptance side of the doctors, and we actually started to match up with what our doctors actually wanted to, we also identified the areas where the doctors were having issues. So we had a lot of help in our development process. So after that, the online appointments were going on, and the Jeeve pharmacy, which is just a part of it, where it was just doing a normal part where people could order medication and book appointments, and suddenly the pandemic hit, right? So we were already in plans to do an EMR or the PHR part of it, that is electronic medical records, where you do not have to actually maintain all the files that they do. Every time Dr. Kanzanda Hedi through Purano file, you have to go through each and every file and pick your out, and then you go to the doctor, you actually show it to them. So that we were trying to solve that part when the pandemic hit, and there was a certain sense of panic in people, where people did not want to actually go out even if they were suffering from any sort of health issues. So they could not actually go and get themselves tested or get a consultation out of the doctors. So what we did was, and this is none of the things that were planned, but capability announced, and from the very next day there was a lockdown, and there was no movement at all, right? So the operations never went down. It went down for 2 days, but the technology part of it was going up. And then we wanted to solve that issue where all our patients, all Birami Manchal, were struggling to actually go see a doctor and go consult with the doctor. So we identified this issue, and then we wanted to actually solve this. So we came up with a feature called Namaste Doctor. So Namaste Doctor, let's say it would connect a doctor and a patient, and then actually help them to actually communicate. There are no fancy features of video calling or calling in general, but there was this feature where they can chat with the respective doctors, and we just made sure that the doctors that we had in our database were all NMC verified. And so just to maintain the authenticity of it, we don't want anyone else to come capitalize on that feature and just make sure that they're making a lot of money while playing with people's health. So यो कुरा चाहिँ हामीले राम्ररी टेक केयर गरेर सल्भ गरेर we rolled out a Namaste Doctor update in a span of 10 days, and I really commend my development team for that. So यो सबै भइसकेपछि चाहिँ there was a very good response from the doctors and the patients, and it came up really well. And we're working with a few government bodies to actually promote this, since the situation is still not normalized, and this is the new normal. So we're trying to improve upon that, and we're just trying to make it more relevant to people. We're trying to educate people to actually go and work with the technology that is readily available, actually make an impact in the society by actually using it, and just keeping themselves safe with the comfort of their home, right? So this was a brief introduction, and why I'm explaining all this is it is a lot to do with the entrepreneurship, right? So if हामीले चाहिँ अरूमा डिपेन्डेन्ट भएर or a foreign party मा डिपेन्डेन्ट भएर चाहिँ if we had just stuck to the application, we would have never come out with such features as such a short time, and such for the country itself, right? So our CEO, who is a visionary himself, he and the whole team has a lot of belief in the vision, right? So your vision, like say, we want to make this come true. We want to push ourselves, and we want to make a dent on the healthcare industry. The Jeeve was established, and with the entrepreneurial mindset comes the open-mindedness. So all of it is related to being open-minded and being a lot, you know, how do you say that? अरूको आइडियाजहरू लिएर इन्कर्पोरेट गरेर अनि त्यसपछि तपाईलाई कसरी आफ्नो प्रोडक्टलाई बेटर बनाउने, or how can that particular product actually impact the society भनेर चाहिँ यो क्वेशन्सहरु आउँछ के. There's a lot of questions that come into play, हैन? तपाईको मार्केट एक्सेप्टेन्स कुनै पनि नयाँ कुरामा कसरी गराउने देखि लिएर यस्तो कुराहरु हुन्छ, हैन? So there are a lot of challenges, not only from an entrepreneurial perspective, that is the finances and the marketing and the acceptance, but also on the development side, where naya technology available छ हाम्रोमा, but do we have access to those, and do we have access to people who are well versed in these areas of knowledge. Okay, so I think when you are thinking of being an entrepreneur, or when you are thinking of establishing something, the very first thing you need to do is prepare yourself for all the risks that are involved, be it monetary risk, be it the negative feedback that you get from the market, be it anything that can actually make a dent in the way you think. So you have to be all ready for all of those challenges. The next thing I would say is bringing the innovation is really important, because if you're introducing something new in the society, and if you actually do not innovate, there's like there are lots of things, lots of people or lots of applications that are doing the same thing, and you're not innovating in any way. So that can be a hurdle. So always think about innovation, and always think differently on what you are going to achieve and what problem you're solving. So that's one another thing. The other thing is being a visionary. You don't have to be an entrepreneur yourself to actually follow the entrepreneurial path, but you also should have the ability to actually have that entrepreneurial mindset where you can welcome a lot of things. You can actually imagine the vision that that your friends have, or the group that you're working with, or the team that you're working with. And related to that, the very next thing that is essential is be just having this open-mindedness to accept and be able to criticize yourself or take criticism from others, right? Orko is just trying to be flexible in your thought process, in the way you actually perceive things. So that's another thing. And I think the last but not the least point for this particular mindset, that is the entrepreneurial mindset, is knowing what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, you can never actually achieve it. So to go anywhere, you need to have a destination in mind, right? So you might know the road. There might be several roads to that, but if you do not know the destination, you're lost. So yeah, these are the things. And finally, one last thing would be establishing a great team is very necessary if you're actually looking forward to becoming an entrepreneur. Because होइन म एक्लैको केही कुरा गर्छु भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ when you want to do something that will not be always fruitful. Because even if you take an example, हाम्रो पानीपुरी बेच्ने कोही हुनुहुन्छ भने हैन, उहाँहरू पनि entrepreneur हो, but they still need a team. They need someone to make the puris for them. They though they'll do all the things themselves, but त्यो पुरी बनाउनुदेखि लिएर हैन तिनीहरूसँग राम्रो कन्ट्याक्ट भएन, or तिनीहरूसँग चाहिँ एक्चुअल नेगोसिएबल प्राइसमा उनीहरूले काम गर्न सकेन भने, then again it is a loss situation. And if they cannot do the hard work, or if they cannot actually put a spin to the taste, or that is if they regular taste provide गर्नुहुन्छ, and if there is nothing new to offer, then they cannot be successful in this space. So yeah, यति भन्दै चाहिँ I'd like to end the talk.
Okay, that is amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed Naved. So, हजुरको session पनि it was really insightful भन्छु मैले चाहिँ हैन. I really loved how you talked about your entire journey and how Jeeve has come to the place that it has, तपाईँको सबै initial process देखिको कुराहरू. And you started off with trying to solve a problem that's happening in the society, like entrepreneurship भनेको major कुरा भनेको त्यो एउटा problem solving factor त हुनु पर्यो भन्ने कुरा हैन. So that's amazing. And you talked about you should be prepared for any type of risk assessment ko kura garnu bhayo, and innovations ko kura garnu bhayo, because there are so many other competitors in the market who are doing the same things, right? So innovation wala factor pani ekdamai important cha bhannu bhayo. And then you stressed about being a visionary and having the entrepreneurial mindset. So त्यो पनि एकदमै important लाग्यो मलाई. And I liked how you talked about you should be open-minded and be able to take criticism. I think that's something that's very lacking भनौँ न अहिलेको टाइममा. Criticism लिन सक्दैन मान्छेले हैन, अनि they stress that म नै right हो, अथवा त्यसरी various relationshiप्सहरु बिग्रिरा पनि हुन्छ हैन. So this is also a very essential quality भन्छु मैले. So there are a couple of questions that has come in the chat. So I'll be delegating a few of them to you. So हामीसँग time धेरै त छैन, so perhaps we can take a couple of questions.
Yeah, sure.
So the first question is, how is Jeeve helping to create job opportunities?
So, okay, let's start with my initial introduction. So this is a homegrown company. This is a homegrown company. So we are actually promoting young talents to actually come and join us in various aspects, be it technical side, if you think you are technically capable, and even if you're a fresher and you want to explore your abilities, you're more than welcome to apply to Jeeve. And of course there will be a screening process and then the hiring. And the other, as I also said initially, कि हाम्रो खाली technical team मात्रै छैन, there's an on-field team there is a business team, there is a marketing team involved. So yo sabhaima चाहिँ we are always looking for a good set of talents, that is young talents, who can actually give us a fresh young perspective to our vision. So yes, we are helping to come up with or creating opportunities for job. Yes, GV is expanding, and yes, in future we will need a lot more skilled manpower to actually help us achieve our vision.
Okay, that is amazing. Thank you. Arko एउटा question चाहिँ मैले address गर्न चाहे यहाँ. So it's a very intriguing question भन्छु मैले. So how do you draw the line on where to quit or move forward, as the lines are a little blurry when starting the entrepreneurship journey?
Okay, this is a very interesting question. Right? So as I said, your vision science, you should know the destination, right? If there is that passion that drives you, and you really believe in the vision, and I emphasize on the passion, right? So तपाईसँग केही पनि कुरा गर्ने passion छ अनि तपाईले चाहिँ एकदमै believe गर्नुहुन्छ कि okay, you can achieve this thing भनेर चाहिँ then there is no need to draw a line, right? So even if there are difficult times in terms of maybe finances or in terms of maybe technology limitations and so it should not actually stop you from doing anything, or there is not a need to draw the line anywhere. If you have to draw the line, then there might be a situation where it is impacting you and your loved ones. Right. So if that vision is not something that is going to help the society, like let's say someone wants to be an entrepreneur in a negative way, where you want to be a contract killer. So that's not something that is helping the society, or that is not going to actually तपाईको कसैलाई हेल्प गर्नेवाला छैन, तपाईको फ्यामिलीलाई नेगेटिभ इम्प्याक्ट पर्नेवाला छ, तपाईलाई नेगेटिभ इम्प्याक्ट पर्नेवाला छ हैन. सो यसले गर्दा यो कुराले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I would say quit. Don't do those things, even though you believe in it. Don't just don't. So ethical कुरामा चाहिँ you should always draw the line. And even if हाम्रो केसमा भन्यो भने, if we were trying to solve a problem that is non-existent, so if we were trying to solve something like okay, तपाईको नेपालमा register नभएको औषधिहरु चाहिँ हामी ल्याएर दिदिन्छौं भनेर हामीले चाहिँ त्यो भिजनमा स्टार्ट गरेको भए चाहिँ we would not be successful. And so you drawing the ethical line is important, where you know that you're making a positive impact in the society. There you should draw a line. But if you start drawing line while actually trying to achieve something that is actually going to change the society, or that is going to make an impact in the society in a very positive way, I don't think you should ever draw a line there. You have to find better ways to do things, but you should not quit on your dream or your journey.
Okay, that is really amazing and inspiring. So thank you so much for the responses for all of the questions that were in the chat. Unfortunately, we'll have to stop this session right here because of time limitations. So I'd like to thank Mr. Mohammed Naved again for sharing his experiences.